the pitch is looped towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. That is pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Boston radio personality Lou Blasi.
Welcome to the Insanity. Rico, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Say hi to Matt Clark. Say hi to Matt.
Matt, I just want to point one thing out, Matt. You notice the hat, the B. Now, the Red Sox, they stink this year. Well, they're not good. But you see Zappola here, he's a fair weather friend. All of a sudden now they stink. They're no good. He said in the beginning, they've got a pretty good team. And they're just not hitting whatever the reason.
Stuck.
So see, no matter what.
Okay, you know what this hat is?
Listen, it's a long season. Anything can happen.
Right.
That's right.
This is my sister Anna, your good friend Anna, Rico.
Yeah.
Gave me this hat. It was given to her. It's one of her Live Nation hats. And she gave it to me and she said, "Why don't you wear it on the show?" And I said, "Okay, I would do that." So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I listen to me.
You haven't worn your Red Sox hat.
You're full of crap. I wear my Red Sox hat more than you.
Lou knows. I know you guys think they stink, but their record is bad, obviously. So anyway, Matt, I just wanted to mention that to the millions of listeners.
Louis, can we ever get you to wear a hat? Can we ever get you to wear a baseball cap? Have I ever seen you with?
Getting to that point, yes, it's entirely possible. I'm too old to wear it backwards. That's what I really want to do. Wear it backwards.
There you go. Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zapp, Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli, our chief bottle washer, the guy that makes it all happen, Lou Blasi, and our special guest today, Matt Clark from Rea Auctions. Brian Dwyer. We asked Brian to come on. Then he said, "Yeah, I'll come on." And then we blew him off. He said, "No, we'd rather have Matt." So Matt's with us.
Oh, wow.
Something like that, yeah.
Right, Matt? How you doing?
I'm doing well, Tom. How are you?
We're good. We're going to be all over the place today. We're going to be talking about you have an auction going on. That's some really, really cool. Talk a little bit about the hobby, but there's one thing that has really, really I've been obsessed with, and I need your opinion on it, you guys.
Sure, please.
You guys,
the Ritz cracker.
Oh, here we go.
Now,
oh God,
the Ritz cracker. In my opinion, I have some here every week. I have a little sleeve of them during the show. I eat about a third of a sleeve. And there is no better cracker in the history of crackers. And I'll debate anybody.
I think you're cracked. That's what I think.
Anything, Rico, you can do anything with this cracker. Anything.
Yeah, you know
peanut butter, cottage cheese, guacamole. Use it as a stuffing.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing that.
Well, we had guacamole last night. Anyway,
with Ritz crackers though.
What do you endorse? Are they paying you? Ritz crackers?
There's another. But I have a bitch about them too. And Luke, I mean, you're usually in tune with this stuff. This cracker is so much smaller than when I was a kid.
Okay, yeah.
So much smaller. It's frustrating.
Yeah, we feel sorry for you. Jeez.
It's a great cracker. Very. I use the word resourceful. Matt,
he's going senile. I told him he's gone. He's totally gone.
All right, Matt, let's get into. You have an auction coming up, a really cool one. You've got a lot of different items. Right out of the gate, though, I see a 1914 Cracker Jack Cobb PSA 7. Tell us about that card. You brought it. Very nice. Very nice. Private consignor. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, in an old-time card collection, a guy collected stuff with his father years ago, and his father had passed away a while ago. Son had held on to the collection, and it was just time to let it go, and this was one of the key pieces in it. Great card. Obviously, Cracker Jacks, we're in kind of a boom for Cracker Jacks right now, so I think the market's going to be pretty heavy after that one. Interestingly, 5 is pretty much like the highest attainable grade that is sold with any sort of in recent history. A 6 hasn't sold in over 5 years, and there's really no public sale records of PSA 7. So it's going to be interesting to see what that one brings for sure.
And by the way, if you ever want a copy, Lou knew I was going to throw this one in. Yep. If you ever want a copy of the Cracker Jack Collection Baseball's Prize Players, feel free to go to tomzapplermedia.com.
You have no.
I just put it in.
How many do you have last? Like 3?
Cracker Jacks are some of the best cards ever made.
They're great.
It's great.
They're beautiful cards. Those T206s and really are.
Yeah, Matt. I don't know if you know anything about the book that Ellen and I are working. I know Brian's been working with us. A new book coming out. Our last one a year from. It's going to be launched at the 2027 National. It's called Legendary Finds in Sports Collecting Treasures. Well, one of the key private collector items that we talk about is just. You know Scott Island? You know?
I know the set, the 14 set.
Oh God,
yeah, SGC set.
What a killer set!
It's originally Randy Stuckmeyer's.
Correct. Yeah. So we're featuring that set in the private collectors. You know, it's funny because we've reached out to a lot of private collectors, and we're asking them just what is your one iconic piece that you own that is your favorite, and he did not say the Cracker. We forced him. I said, no, we got to use the Cracker Jack. He's got, that he owns the rookie jersey of Jackie Robinson, the Jackie Robinson rookie jersey.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I did not know that, man. That's which one are you going to use? Which one? Jesus Christ.
I mean, yeah, from a find perspective, the Cracker Jacks probably make more sense, but from a historical significance perspective, I'd say I think the Jack.
Yeah. Matt, what is your role at REA?
Operations director. I do a little bit of everything. So, I handle a lot of stuff that we send out for grading to PSA, SGC. I break down a lot of collections, and then I also bring in a lot of collections. So I go out, work on consignments, travel a good bit, go to shows. So I got my hand in a lot of different things over here. But it's fun. Keeps it interesting that way.
Absolutely. Lou, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list of things that you're auctioning off, and I saw the 71 Topps Baseball First Series wax box. I'm wondering if the line of vintage is moving at all. Is 71 vintage now, or how is that working? Is the line creeping as we go forward?
The line, Lou, is creeping into the 80s, I think.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough where you draw it now. I've heard people in today's day and age, we obviously stick to the major sports cards, and vintage is kind of our specialty, but I've heard, the talk of the town is Pokemon now. People refer to like early 2000s Pokemon cards as vintage Pokemon, which seems like an oxymoron to me. But yeah, no, I think what a lot of people regard as the line for vintage now is like right around 86 because of Jordan.
Okay, and that crosses all sports.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Do you ever run into the wave of availability that you found in the 80s? Does that help crimp that vintage moniker a little bit, at least for baseball?
Perhaps. I mean, I guess it's tough. I don't know. I don't know if I've thought about it like that. I mean, I think the line for baseball was kind of always right around 79, 80. I think at this point, a lot of people consider the Henderson rookie a vintage card. It's 46 years old. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one.
All right. So Matt, to follow up on what Lou just asked. So right now we're at 85. What happens when that line creeps up to the junk wax era? Then does it skip from there into 92, 93, 2000? Where's the big gap going to be?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. I've actually thought about this a lot because if you listen, I kind of maybe it's a weird analogy, but I think about it sort of along the lines of music, right? When you think of like classic rock, that line hasn't really moved. Like it's kind of stayed in the 80s, and everything else just kind of gets new definitions as you go on. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll come up with new ways to describe this stuff, but they're definitely, I think, as a lot of it too is that people my age or a little bit older than me, but don't have a lot of connection to the players in the 50s and 60s. As they get older, have good jobs, and they've got some disposable income, they want to collect the Mattingleys, the Clemens, the Bonds, Bo Jackson, like those guys of the world. And I think that, the quantity of cards that are out there does pose a little bit of a problem, but I think that you kind of solve that by just collecting them in really high grade. So
I wonder if and it's self-correct too, in the way that people didn't think they were valuable, so they didn't keep them. And as they start to age and get into the 40 plus years old, maybe availability starts to be crimped a little bit because people just didn't think these cards were going to be valuable going forward.
It's possible, but I think that, relative to the people who thought that about 50s and 60s and 70s cards, it kind of pales in comparison. I mean, they were dumping those things in the Hudson.
Rick, you played from 64 to 76, correct?
No.
What year did you play?
I played in 13th season. 12 full season, then I came up in 63. But go ahead.
But my question is, you own? You're vintage. Do you own?
Jeez.
No
do you
debate
own
there.
any? How many cards of yourself do you own? Honestly, Rick.
Well, what do you call it? PSA sent me.
That's right, Joe did.
Remember a bunch of them.
I forgot
So
about that.
I want to say 50, 60 cards at least.
So you have one from every season.
Almost every season. I mean, my collection is my wife is responsible. The kids, they got it because we didn't collect anything in my era. So anyway, but the vintage, they're great cards, but reality is
well, Rico's a modern freak, by the way.
No,
Matt.
I'm not.
Yes,
I
you
love
are.
vintage. Don't say that, but I'm telling you, as the industry grows, you're going to have to push a little bit of the judges and the Otanis and some of these others. But not necessarily this 2020.
No, I think there's validity to that. Yeah, I mean, you look at like early 2000s cards. When I got started in this industry, I never thought that pool host cards or even Derek Jeter stuff would really. I mean, Jeter's kind of a bad example because the card is really tough. But pool host, Ichiro, guys like that, I never thought they'd have the weight that they're pulling now. So I think it's only a matter of time before. And if you look at the quantity of cards that are out there for those guys in the early 2000s relative to what they're making for guys today, again, night and day difference. Makes that stuff look like there's not a lot out there.
Hey, Matt, and you bring up a good point. But fast forwarding to today, to what's going on today, is the whole concept of, we call them manufactured rarities.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, is it really, is it helping the hobby? Is it hurting the hobby? And is it ever going to stop?
Well, I guess, is it ever going to stop? Well, it'll only ever stop if people stop buying the material. If the customers don't demand it by lack of purchases, then it'll, Topps, Bowman, Panini, they'll never stop producing the cards. There's just no incentive to. Like, if they're running a business, they've got to make money. And if people are buying the stuff, there's obviously a market for it. Is it helping the hobby? I think there's two ways that you can look at that. From, if it brings people into the hobby, if it gets kids interested, if it gets a new generation of people interested, and you have all these different, as you put it, manufactured rarity cards, and people can get involved in them at different price points, that might be a net positive thing for the industry as a whole. You're bringing in a new generation of collectors. You're bringing in people at different price points that are interested in the material. I don't think it has a tremendous benefit long-term from a resale perspective, especially on those lower tier cards. I think that, when you used to have a 1 of 1 or a 1 of 5 or a 1 of 10, it really meant something. And now there's just so many different products that you can have a 1 of 1 that really just is not that big of a card, which is
exactly. I mean, there could be 21 of 1s from 20 different companies. It's like of the same player. I mean, it does. I think it's getting.
Matt, I wanted to ask you if it happened, if the players somehow, some way, they can get paid. You know what I'm saying? Right now, your players' card sells for $1 million. They don't get anything, obviously.
Right.
You know?
Well, yeah, but they're cutting big deals, Rico, with the card company.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all part of the.
How much is it going to hurt? How much would it hurt the industry? You know, the auction house.
Oh, that's a good point.
People.
Good point.
If the players were getting a cut of the sales,
yeah. I mean, I'm surprised they're not pushing for it because the agents.
I don't know how you'd enforce it though. You know, once maybe an initial sale, I think you could maybe make an argument, or they could make an argument. But once it trades hands, it's like, you know, if I had a game used mitt from your playing days of yours, like, you know, if you gave it to somebody who sold it to me and I sold it at auction, you know, like, I think that at a certain point it's no longer really affiliated with you from an ownership perspective, you know. Right. Like, I don't know that that's the type of thing that you're going to get royalties on down the road. I think the players will have a legitimate, you know, as they renegotiate, you know, the Players Association renegotiates, you know, their contract with the MLB. I think it is a valid point where it's like, hey, like, these cards that we're signing used to be not that big of a deal. Now you've got some of them selling for, you know, mid 7 figures. Like, we want kind of a piece of that action. I think that's where they have a legitimate claim to maybe make more money.
I hope it doesn't happen.
Really good point. Hey, Matt, you've got some, let's talk about wax boxes. Really, I mean, they've exploded. You've got a 61 Topps football, 62 Topps football. Are those unopened wax boxes?
Yeah. So the you know, early 60s wax is super rare. Football, obviously, much less produced than baseball even. So
right.
I'm really excited about those. 62s you can find periodically. They've traditionally sold in the, you know, low 6 figures. Great box. This is the first 61 football box I've ever seen. So I'm pretty excited about that one. I really like, not that I don't, you know, I love the baseball stuff, but, you know, we see so much of it that it is, it's really interesting when you see some football stuff come across your desk, or some basketball or hockey stuff. So I really get a lot of enjoyment out of seeing those items, and the display part of it is just so cool to me.
Yeah.
Would this investigation of the NFL that's going on, that will be going on, will that affect the industry at all?
I don't think it'll affect it as it relates to us. I don't think it's going to have an effect on vintage cards and vintage material. You know, that's one of the reasons why I always, why I love that stuff. It's kind of set in stone. You know, I mean, there's not much that Jim Brown or Mickey Mantle can do to tarnish their reputation at this point.
Yeah, that's true. What about you? Have you were a collector? You must.
Yeah,
have been
I was going to ask that
Kid.
question. Good, yeah. Very
well,
good
go ahead.
question,
You can answer.
No, you asked the question.
Well, I'm older than you, so I should have first.
Are you a collector, Matt?
Yeah. So I listen. I don't collect. I don't have a very defined focus anymore. I used to collect cards that I was interested in. I worked at SGC, so I'm a card guy by trade, and I would just kind of I buy cards that I loved. 71 Topps Nolan Ryan, one of my favorite cards. Ernie Banks rookie.
Yeah,
Rico still has nightmares about Nolan Ryan. But
hey, I hit 057 against him. What do you want?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Matt.
No, that's all right.
What about memorabilia? I mean, you know, I've gravitated totally away from cards. You know, I had quite a collection over the years. I kind of liquidated everything. And I'm not, I mean, I buy pieces of memorabilia, you know, when something piques my interest. I feel that memorabilia now, I can't remember who we talked about. I think it was Joe Orlando said the thing he liked about memorabilia is the player's DNA is like on the item. Are you a memorabilia guy at all?
You know, I think that memorabilia is super cool. I find game used bats to be most interesting. I just think from a, you know, kind of to Joe Orlando's point, it was like, you know, the player held it. It's part of the game. It's the tool that he used. And I think that there's a lot of data that a guy like John Tauby has on what the players ordered. And I just think I like the authentication process about it. I like the idea of them. I don't have any personally. I've gravitated towards photos a little bit. I collect Jim Brown, so I've collected some like early football photos, some Jim Brown photos. I think they're, you know, I've kind of been captivated by original photography lately.
No, that's photography has really exploded. Reek, what
Yeah.
do you have for bats? Your 40th home run bat is in Cooperstown, right?
Yeah, they own it.
Why do they own it?
That was the deal. That was the deal at that time.
So you didn't loan it to them; you gave it to them.
Well, I had to sign something. I had to sign, a release for the bat, and maybe if I beg and cry, maybe I'll get it back. But yeah, because I would sell it.
So, do you have any gamers? I mean, do you have many gamers at home? Game used bats?
Well, I gave them to my kids.
Oh, but they have
kids have them. Yeah, I have 4 sons, and so they came over one night, and I said, which bats? Take your bats. And so they took World Series and All-Star and game used bats.
So are there any?
So they have it, but I love the bats too. I love beside the cards. Maybe because I was a position player, not a pitcher. But that is fun.
All right,
Do
good.
you have any game used golf clubs you can sell?
I got. I swear, I got a Hilrick Brasby. A wooden.
Wait,
I got for when I signed for the bats, I got $200 off golf clubs. I took the golf clubs.
Wait a second. What kind of clubs were they?
Hilrick Brasby.
You still got them?
Yeah, I got the what do you call it? The driver and stuff. It's wood.
That's when you.
Yeah,
that's when you signed the contract for bats. Wait a minute.
Right.
When you signed the Topps contract? Oh, you get the stereo.
Yeah, the stereo. Right.
Think about that, Matt. Think about what players during Rico's era used to get rather than what players. You sign with Topps now, you get a few bucks. Rico got a stereo. He got to pick out of a catalog.
Yeah, I think those like early Mays, Topps, and Bowman contracts he signed for like $35 or something.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. That's crazy. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Matt Clark from Rea Auctions is in the house. Max, he's going to be with us for the whole show. We come back. A little brief All-Stars cardboard memory with no music because Lou kind of screwed up again, but we're not going
no images. No images.
Oh, we have music?
See?
No, I can put this music underneath if you want. Yes.
Oh, that'll work.
I can put the old music underneath if you want to.
I don't care what you put on it. It doesn't matter. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Ian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Let's go. Batter up.
Hi, everyone. This is Rico Petrocelli. JustCollect.com, a leader in the vintage sports card industry, is giving free appraisals on your vintage cards. They'll evaluate your collection for free and let you know the value of it at no cost and no obligation. If you're ready to sell, JustCollect.com will offer you industry-leading prices to buy your card collection. To begin your free baseball card appraisal, visit JustCollect.com or call them at 732-828-2261. That's JustCollect.com for your free vintage card appraisals and top buy prices for your cards. Check out JustCollect.com today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
With record-breaking sales from everything from the white border T206 Honus Wagner for $3.12 million to some great items that support the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Golden Auctions has set the highest standards for the finest in sports cards, autographs, and game-used memorabilia. We're always accepting consignments of high-end premium sports treasures or entire collections. Please register for our next auction and bid now at goldenauctions.com. That's golden with an I. We at Golden Auctions are committed to providing unsurpassed customer service for the discriminating collector. That's exactly why we're the leader in the industry. Visit goldenauctions.com or call 856-767-8550. Remember, Golden Auctions. We don't just break records, we shatter them.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Well, look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back. Matt Clark from Rea Auctions is in the house. Louis here. Rico's here. Rico's choking. Rick, you okay?
Yeah, no, it's no. You know what it is? It's the allergies from this stinking what do you call it? Pollen.
Been brutal.
I've been dying the last couple of days.
Rick, my Baccarats came in today. I was out of them.
Oh, good for you.
It's
cheap cigar, but that's all right.
Cigar.
Anyway.
All right, listen, it's time for a little reading from an All-Stars Cardboard Memory.
Yeah.
This was one of the fun books that Ellen and I put together with Rico and Joe Orlando. Rico played with 55 of the
56.
56 with or against 56 of the greatest Hall of Famers in history, guys that were friends of his, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, Joe Jackson.
Babe Ruth, yeah, thanks.
No, you know, Frank Robinson, Hank Aaron, just a golden age of baseball.
So fortunate.
So today, one we're going to talk about that I think he was one of your favorites because I think you had some luck against him, was Jim Palmer. Personally, these are Rico's words. Personally, I think Jim Palmer was one of the classiest pitchers I ever faced. Jim had a very good fastball, curveball, and changeup, and he pitched intelligently. He was one of those guys who acted the same whether he won or lost. Jim pitched in a lot of clutch games and was, without doubt, Baltimore's most consistent and talented pitcher. In my opinion, when the Orioles had the 4 20-game winners, he had the best stuff of all of them. Of course, playing with Robinsons, Powell, and the rest of those guys helped him, but there's no doubt he was the real deal. I played against Jim for most of my career, and I hit him well. There was one game in particular in 1975, a big game in September against the Orioles. We were leading the division by about 4 games, but Baltimore was on one of their streaks. The pitching matchup for this particular game was Jim against our guy, Louis Tiant. Now, that's one hell of a pitching duel. We wound up winning the game 2-0, and I was fortunate to hit a home run. That game really gave us the momentum to go the rest of the way. Jim had a high, hard fastball, which was difficult to catch up to. I think I had some success off him because I disciplined myself to lay off that particular pitch. Later on, we talked at fantasy camps, and Jim would give me the business about being a low ball hitter. He told me when I laid off his high pitches, he knew he was in trouble. Initially, I started as a high ball hitter, but guys like Palmer started throwing a steady diet of curveballs and low fastballs, and I learned to adjust. Of the pitchers that I faced over my career, Palmer was definitely in the top 10. I remember after Jim hurt his arm, he came back and tried to throw a little eephus pitch followed by slow curveballs, but as he got better, he went back to being his old self. Jim really loved the Orioles and spent his entire career with them. During that time, they were a real juggernaut with 3 World Series wins, and they were in the postseason a number of times. Jim won at least 20 games during most of the 70s, and he was dominant, winning the Cy Young Award 3 times. Even though he had some classic confrontation on the mound with Earl Weaver, I think Jim genuinely respected Earl. He was a great pitcher. We've chatted a few times about his off-field endeavors, and I'll tell you, he was a very good businessman. It started with those underwear commercials, and then suddenly he was pitching all kinds of products on TV. Really a down-to-earth guy, one of my favorite, and a great broadcaster, Jim Palmer.
Did I say all that? Gee,
let me ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rico, is he as big a jerk as he seemed like as a broadcaster?
I don't know what it is.
With broadcasters.
Yeah, with broadcasting.
And Matt, jump in here, by the way.
More critical. Schmaltz too, on, when he does the games.
Yeah, he's the same way. You're right.
I mean, he never stops talking. He's a bright guy. Was a heck of a pitcher. You have the tendency of you got to be careful as the broadcaster because.
Well, when you were doing color?
Yeah,
when you were doing color for the Red Sox, I mean, I don't ever remember any criticism.
No, well, I criticized George Scott one time, and the Boomer didn't talk to me for 2 years. But no,
who do you think the best broadcaster in baseball is right now?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. MLB.
Lou and I can answer that.
I get MLB, and a lot of the broadcasters are not that great. I'll be honest with you.
I'm a Mets fan, and I thought that the team's always been pretty bad, but they've always had some great guys in the booth.
Yeah, that's true.
Lou,
Red Sox,
you may disagree with me. I think Don Orsillo is still the best in the business.
Don's good.
He's
San Diego now.
San Diego. I think he's just him and Remy by far the 2 best ever to be behind Mike in Boston.
Just finish off that Palmer. I didn't hit him really great, but I hit him. He'd jam you, and once in a while I'd get one over the infield. And but they were great. They had some great players, especially defensively.
Yeah,
so
that team, that team with the 4 20-game winners, Cuellar, Dobson, Palmer, and what's the other guy's name? He had a great year. I can't remember his name.
Dobson? You said Dobson?
Yeah, no, Dobson, but
Cuellar.
No, not Cuellar. The other guy, Dave McNally.
Oh, Dave, yeah.
That was a great staff, man. That was.
No one cares about this, but my earliest baseball memory, my very first baseball memory, is at Memorial Stadium when Tony C hit a ball over the hedges in center field. Watching the ball over the hedges. If I think back to my first baseball memory, that's it.
Were you there, or was it on TV?
No, it was on TV. It was in black and white. I can still see it.
Rico, you must have been there. You must have played it.
Yeah, of course. But that's the thing. I was thinking of collecting. We're talking, of memories. I have memories of, of players. I would buy their cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good point. That's a great point.
I can't afford, even though I had a 52 Mantle as a kid, and it was, we threw it up against the wall. I'm sick, please. But yeah, and that's a lot of the guys, because I was going to ask you, Matt, to maybe give some advice to some of the collectors that are listening. I mean, it's become, the vintage is great, but is it becoming, buy it and sell it, make some money?
Yeah, look, I always tell people, you've got to collect what you like. If you're not gonna look, making money is great, and I think that cards over time have been a pretty good vehicle to make some cash for people. But at the end of the day, you need time on your side. You got to be able to hold the stuff for a period of time if you're going to make any money on it. And in my experience, you've got to have a connection to the items. If you don't really enjoy it, then you probably don't hang on to it that much. You see something else that's shiny and you want to go buy it, and you've got this money tied up in a baseball card that you don't care about, and that's the first thing to go.
That's what I'm worried. See, I'm worried about that with kids. I love to see the industry stay strong and grow, but Tom, remember was it Cleveland when all those kids?
Well, that's what I'm talking about, Rico.
And all they were doing is bang, bang.
They were flipping cards. They were trading,
and all that.
The thing that kind of bothers me, Matt, and correct me if I'm wrong. Me growing up, Lou growing up, Rico growing up, when we bought cards, when we collected cards, we never in a million years, at least I didn't. No, none of us did. We never even thought about how much the card was worth.
Yeah.
I mean, no one thought of that. Today, I just, Rico and I witnessed it. I just think that a lot of the young generation collectors, and I'm talking anywhere from 13 to 25, it's more of a business thing for them than an actual love of the sport, or even a love for the player. And it really bothers me. It does.
Times have changed. Times have changed.
Times have changed. There is. I do agree with Rico. There's a level. Look. I think that there's an element to it that is kind of sad, right? But it used to be all nostalgia, essentially, or just like, you cherish the items. They were your favorite players. But now it has become a business. If it hadn't, we probably wouldn't be talking about them anymore. If no one cared about buying them, and the modern stuff is a little bit tricky like that with these younger kids, because they're almost playing a game of hot potato. They're going to go over to a guy's table.
How about the people that invested in that Zion Williamson card?
Yeah,
right. Or the people that invested in that Wander Franco card.
Luka Doncic, even, Luka is a great player, and he's still doing, and his cards are still rather valuable. But there was a time when they were just on another planet. I mean, they've come down probably. At one point in time, I think silver prism Lucas were like $7,000-$8,000 a card. I think now they're in the low thousands. Even LeBron, like LeBron cards, a 2003 Topps Chrome LeBron PSA 10 at one point in time during COVID was a $40,000 card. Came all the way down to $4,000.
Crazy, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
A chance you take. I mean, but if
you know something. But that's not going to happen, Reek. That's not going to happen with the 33 Gaudy Nap Lajoie. Or you know what I mean? It's not going to happen.
You can go out and you can buy, you can trade penny stocks or day trade stocks, or you can just go out and buy Apple or buy Amazon or buy buy an index fund, and so I think it's all about kind of what piques your interest. But at the end of the day, you've got to be good at it. Losing money isn't fun for anybody,
Good point.
Naturally, you don't want to lose, but it all depends, like you said, on the person's attitude. They love a player, they love a team. Or maybe they'll buy their cards or even memorabilia and other stuff. So, but it's a great industry. I mean, it's
really is. There's no doubt.
Jeez.
I think the thing that I kind of have a hope for, and I think that does hold true in a lot of cases, as the modern material gets these younger kids interested. Take basketball, for example, the Lukas, the LeBrons, you get them, the Wembys, you get them in the door with that. And then at some point, with all the money that's flying around on those cards, they have to look back and say, well, like, what's a Chamberlain rookie worth? Or what's a Bill Russell rookie? Like, I could get a Kareem card for a fraction of what I'm paying for Victor Wembanyama, it almost seems logical to diversify at some point. So I think,
good point.
I think the modern is a gateway to the younger generation, but I do think that at least in some capacity, it does lead to some vintage stuff.
We are chatting with Matt Clark from Rea Auctions. Rico, why don't you earn your money and tell us about our good friend Tom Aruji?
Earn what money? Where is it? All right, I want to talk to you about our friend Tom Rugi. I really do. And the staff at Destiny Wealth Management. If you're a card or memorabilia collector,
hold on.
Wait a minute. I can't see.
What's the over-under? Lou, what's the over-under of him screwing this up?
No, I won't screw it up.
I'm not keeping score.
All right.
If you're a card or memorabilia collector, have you ever thought about how to manage your collection long term? Well, I certainly have. I look at my personal collection, and through the advice and expertise of Tom Rugi, I've learned that you need a professional to help categorize, evaluate, and eventually put a liquidation plan together with dealers or auctioneers if you or your family decides to sell your collection. Most importantly, you need to be aware of the tax ramifications when you liquidate. That's a good point. Although Zap and Lou have begged me to include them when it comes time to depart with my 40th home run ball or my 67 World Series glove, I'm going to Tom Rugi and the Wealth Management Group. And don't forget, Rugi Wealth Management will also handle all of your investment needs. That's Rugi Wealth Management, the go-to company to manage your collectible decisions.
I'll tell you what, Rico, give us the bat and the glove, and we'll bring it to Rugi for you, Lou and I.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
We're going to bring it to Matt. That's who we're going to bring it to.
That's right.
I would be honored.
Hey, Matt, how long have you been at REA now?
7 years.
How do you like working for Brian?
Brian's a great guy to work for. I don't have a bad thing to say about him.
He really is, man. I'll tell you, Brian Dwyer, he's a kid that has really
there's where you draw the line in the sand on what's a kid now, Tom. He's 40
good
years
point.
old.
I know.
Well, to Tom, everybody's a kid.
But he was Brian's done a great job. How many people do you guys employ?
We got about 20 people working here. It's 19, 20, something like that. Most of them in the office. We've got a couple people, Calvin Arnold, over in Dallas, and guy in New York City. So, but yeah, we've got a pretty good crew here, and it's a great place to work.
Before we take a break, go ahead, Rick. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to ask about people. Do they ever complain that they didn't get enough money for the card?
Listen, I mean, we do the thing that we pride ourselves on is going over value expectations before we take consignments in. So we like to lay the groundwork of what we think is realistic and possible. Everyone, people are certainly going to think that the card could have performed better, or the item could have performed better. But at the end of the day, we have very few people who are upset at the end of the process.
No, definitely. I mean,
we like to make them well aware of what they're getting into. So.
Before we take a break, Matt, what are your thoughts on this entire backlog situation with PSA and the fact that they're going to have to, curb things for a few months? What are your thoughts on that?
Again, I think there's a silver lining in everything, which is it obviously shows the strength of the card market in general. If PSA is so backlogged, they have to shut down services. It obviously shows a lot of support for the industry that we're in. That being said, it's unfortunate. I mean, we already got a business to run. There's a lot of businesses in this industry that rely on the PSA services in order to operate at full capacity. So that does throw a wrench in things. I'm fearful that them shutting down is just going to inundate SGC and Beckett, and it's going to have a trickle down effect. So hopefully it's a temporary solution. They get it sorted out pretty quickly and back up and running.
Well, they are investing $200 million in their infrastructure. They're going to be hiring 1,000 people. So eventually, I think the dust is going to clear. But
could you imagine having to hire 1,000 people? Who's doing those interviews? 1,000 people.
But Matt, this kind of bottleneck usually sparks innovation. And what do you think that could possibly look like? How is the game going to change? Because something has to change at this point. Maybe what PSA is doing is enough, but something's going to have to change fundamentally in this whole grading process.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lou. I don't know. It's not, especially for the more modern cards that are coming out, it's not impossible to me that the industry takes a step back from grading. That market is so reliant on liquidity and how quickly items trade that I don't know that, the current turnaround times or even relatively feasible turnaround times that a company like PSA can offer will be able to be sustained in that industry long term. So I think you are starting to see people trade ungraded cards a lot more frequently.
I've seen that too, and I totally agree with that. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We have one more segment with Matt Clark from Rea Auctions. We have an on deck with Rico, and Lou has a question.
I do.
I don't know what the question is, Rico, and I'm sure we're going to be waiting with bated breath.
I answer everything, anything, and everything.
Rico, I got to be honest with you. Today you look very relaxed.
I told you because of pollen. I'm dying here.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Card Company. Is your sports card or memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden Auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Paul, would you, for Pete's sakes, you got all kinds of stuff. Oh, was I muted? Was I muted?
You're muted, all right. All right, what do you got?
I don't know. What do you
Tell
got?
us about Petroselli Marketing.
Well, my son, I started it in 1999. My son came about 8 years later, and then he took over after a couple of years. He's an excellent salesman. He makes sure everything is really perfect.
You guys do very well.
Yeah,
Matt,
I mean,
Matt.
Yes,
Rico, he showers Lou and I with promotional items from Petroselli Marketing. Like you see, this is a Petroselli Marketing pen, and Lou and I now own 10 million each of these. All right,
I'm reselling them on eBay.
Ask and you shall receive.
That's all.
Hey, listen, we might be in the market for some pens in the near future. We'll reach out.
There we go.
I mean,
they really do right. I mean, they work.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, that's like the minimum requirement for me in pens is that they write.
All right.
He comes out a commission on that.
All right, it's time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us by guess who? Our friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions.
Yeah.
Don't forget to get your bid in by going to collectrea.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. This week, Rico, we have a special question from somebody that you know, and he's going to ask the question right now. One Louis Blassie. Go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rico, when a reliever comes in now, or if I know who the Red Sox are facing this afternoon, who they're going to lose to this afternoon for a starting pitcher, I can look up their pitch deployment. I can look up their velocity. I can look up heat maps, pitch movements. I can do it in the time the relief pitcher warms up. So I know what's coming with that pitcher. What I was curious about was back in the day when you guys had a relief pitcher coming in, or it was 67 and you're facing Gibson, or 75 and you're facing Raleigh Eastwick. How do you prepare for pitchers without all this analytics information? What were the discussions like? Did you know what to expect when you went up against a pitcher that you hadn't seen yet?
Yeah, in the you mentioned the World Series. it's a little different, but we face these guys. Excuse me, a lot of them in spring training, but we knew what a guy was throwing. If a young pitcher came in, first thing, they have scouting reports on him. Okay, he's got a good breaking pitch. He likes to throw the fastball a lot, and so we go there. But what the guys. I mean, come on, you remember this is your livelihood.
But Rico, no. But if they brought up a kid like in the middle of the season, they bring up a kid from AAA, a relief pitcher. You've never seen him before. Do they have? Well, actually, they have to bring up the kid before the game starts. So they must have. You guys must have
got reports. Yeah. I had to make reports when I managed in AAA and AA. Yeah. I had to make reports on every single player in the league.
Really.
Every single player, what he pitched. But, yeah, the guys in the league, of course, the starters and all that, what they throw you, what they have, what type of fastballs and stuff. And then when a young kid comes in, a lot of times you take a pitch or two to see what velocity he has that particular day. But, we kept it in our heads. Some guys, Lou, that did write them down.
I'll bet, yeah.
Yeah, they used to. I think Fred Lynn was one of the guys too.
Kept like a notebook.
Yeah, a little notebook on this guy, what he did to him. Now they have the computers and they can see.
Everything's there.
I wish we had them. I don't begrudge them.
Well, they all have. Louis, you've noticed it. I mean, when you watch a Red Sox game, they all have a card in their back pocket.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And if you watch when a reliever comes in, they'll be looking at the iPad and they'll be looking at release point and the pitcher's motion and things like that. And all this other information is available. Like I said, I can look it up while he's warming up. So I have that information. They must have it. So what was the scouting report on Bob Gibson? Just give up?
Go back to the dugout. My old man says, Petrocelli, you're a bum after I struck out 4 times against him. But,
hey, I'll put another follow-up question. This is from Tony Fiorino. What was the single greatest moment, Rico? The single greatest moment in your career?
That's really tough.
Whether it didn't have to be an at-bat, just a single great moment.
I'd say getting my first hit.
Really?
Did
Yeah.
you get your first hit in your first game or no?
Yeah, in 1963, I think it was, I came up in September, traveled with the team and all that. We came back to Fenway, and I finally got in one game, and I got a double off the wall.
Was it your first at bat?
First, yeah. No, I don't remember. I'll be honest with you, but it was the first hit. I got the ball. I still have it, and that was a great thrill. The 1,200 people that were in the stands really gave me a big ovation. And the second they would be hitting, a couple of home runs in the World Series. Then they're
what about a non
6? Yeah,
like what about the Fisk home run?
Yeah, that was wonderful to watch. Yeah, of course, that was great.
What about the phone conversation with Dick Raditz and Dennis Eckersley?
That was one of my favorites. Yeah. No,
Matt,
Matt, you don't know.
No, Matt.
No, Matt. We're gonna tell him real quickly, Matt.
No,
it's still considered. I think, Lou.
Oh God, yeah.
It's considered
Hall of Fame radio moment.
A Hall of Fame Boston radio moment that is in the probably top 3 or 4 of all time. When Rico was on WEEI, which was the flagship station of the Red Sox. Plus, I think they were the number 2 in the country behind WFAN.
Mm-hmm.
And Rico happened to be a guest of Glenn Ordway on the afternoon drive time show. And Dennis Eckersley called in. Dick Raditz was on the show with him, a relief pitcher. And Dennis Eckersley had a couple of cocktails and called into the studio and started getting into it with Rico. And Rico Petrocelli on the air challenged him to meet him in the parking lot.
Come on down. I said, come on down here. He was criticizing Dick. Dick Williams was saying the pitchers he's got a little sore arm. He's not goes on the injured list.
Yep.
So he was criticizing. Come on, guys. So Eckersley was listening, and he calls up, and he was feeling pretty good. And he started ripping on
Raditz.
And then when he said, "Would you ever do?" That's what got me really mad.
I was driving.
Not me, Raditz. What Raditz ever do? He's one of the great.
Yeah,
he was a great relief pitcher
in his time. Yeah.
I still,
I got pissed off.
I still listen to that.
Yeah,
that was
Eckersley is a great
moment.
kid.
You guys made up years.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys made up.
Eckersley was a good guy. Yeah,
He really was, and he was a hell of a bright guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, Matt, that's it. Let's get back.
1,000 vendor tables, 3 days. The biggest card show in the Northeast comes to Marlborough, Massachusetts this month. The Northeast Sports Card Expo takes place June 26th through the 28th at the Four Kicks Sports Complex. 3 full days of 150,000 square feet packed with sports cards, Pokemon, TCG, memorabilia, and more. 1,000 tables means a lot to dig through. Vintage cards, modern cards, Pokemon, memorabilia, and much, much more. Card grading services will be available all weekend, along with autograph authentication from JSA. Plus, meet more than 50 autographed guests. Every paid admission includes one free autograph from each celebrity guest, redeemable during their scheduled appearance time. Get your tickets now at northeastsportsexpo.com. And it's more than just cards, by the way. Trade night over 2 nights, raffles, World Series trophies, mascots, food trucks, and more all weekend long. Plus, different commemorative show posters will be given away to the first 200 attendees. General admission is $20. Early entry and super early entry options are available. Kids under 12 get in for free. If you're buying, selling, trading, or searching your next big pickup, this is the place to go. The Northeast Sports Card Expo, June 26th through the 28th in Marlborough, Massachusetts.
Yeah, well, I was clean shaven before you started that commercial for.
Hey, I got
a beard now.
I read what they give me. Speaking of reading, Lou, how about our good friend, a little insurance information?
Well, as many of you know, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr., who is the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting. And with a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management, Tom covers every aspect of your collectibles insurance needs. Unlike some companies that sell collectibles insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide. Representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance, there's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend John Tobby of JT Sports has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. If you want more information, go to thefia.com, thefia.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
All right.
We got a couple of minutes
Great
left.
job, Lou.
Very good job. Hey, Matt, how long have you been in the total hobby?
I started working for my uncle Joe Drellick in 20.
Joe is your uncle?
Yeah. Yep.
I did not know that.
How about that?
Nice.
He's great.
Joe's a good friend. Joe, obviously, Joe is the big. NSCC is one of the big sponsors.
Yeah, he's a busy guy now.
You think? Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Yeah, we're gonna be broadcasting from the National on the Friday of the I think from 1 to 3 on the Burkus stage. Joe's a great guy. What have you seen? What are some of the changes that you've seen, Matt?
During my
you've seen,
time?
yeah.
Well, I mean, you look back, and I'd certainly would love to be buying cars at the prices they were at the 2010 National, which was my first show. Jordan rookies at $5 to $10 grand, and things like that. But I mean, I think that there's more of an appreciation now, not only for cars, but for memorabilia. We've seen the photo market move tremendously. Game used bats, jerseys are just, night and day difference. One thing that hasn't changed much that I'm really kind of excites me is that people are really still collecting sets. I've always kind of expected that to kind of start to fall by the wayside, but those guys who we still get consigned tons of ungraded raw sets every auction. The guys who are, guys like the Batter's Box or Greg Morris who sell that stuff online, they're selling more of it than ever to set builders. So, listen, there's obviously been like a industrial revolution. There's been a lot more. There's been like a tech revolution during that time, but I don't know. I think at the core, it's still the same hobby.
Well, the national looks a little different when you walk in today than 2010. That's for sure.
You used to be able to get a table. When I was setting up with Joe, he would wait until he would try to get a discount table. So he would wait until like the end when all the tables, a couple of weeks before the show, a month before the show, he'd try to get space that they hadn't sold yet. And
now there's a waiting list of like 100 years.
Yeah, and they got two floors. I mean, you got the whole building. They're upstairs in Chicago now, and they still got a waiting list.
Right, Rick, did you have a question?
No.
We're good. All right, listen, we're just about out of time. Matt, when does the auction end? Give us the particulars.
Yeah, so we have a monthly auction that goes live tomorrow and closes June 21st, and then our big summer catalog auction is July 28th to August 16th. So collect.
Right. You guys usually run your summer catalog auction is usually run during the national by the national.
Yeah, so we'll open it the day the national opens.
And by the way, Brian will be on stage with us on Friday afternoon. I think we have him scheduled for the first hour, along with Joe Orlando. We're going to be close. This is the first time, and I've never met him. I haven't met him yet, but I'm looking forward to it. He's a good kid. Do you know Gordy Bonkers?
Yeah, I know him very well. We used to do a lot of work with Gordy, yeah.
Yeah, Gordy is going to be co-hosting the show with me for the 2 hours at the National. Looking forward to it. A good kid, vintage guy. Seems to be a vintage guy. So we're going to have some fun.
Vintage guy, very ambitious, building a great business.
Really has. He's really picked up a great following. He's all indications from everyone that he's a great guy. Matt, can't thank you enough. Make sure you say hi to everyone. Say hi to Brian. To our viewers and listeners, Rico.
Good job too, man.
Great job today, Rick. You had your A game. You had your A
right.
game.
What does that mean? Lou, he's the man.
Lou,
great job as always.
He keeps it all together.
Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, Matt.
Thank you, Rico.
Take care. To our viewers and listeners, happy collecting.
Yep. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
Bye.